Use the intercept method to sketch a graph of 2x plus y equals 5. We'll start by finding the x-intercept, and we do that by letting y equal 0. If we plug in 0 for y, we have 2x plus 0 equals 5. The same as 2x equals 5. And if we divide both sides by 2 to get x alone, we have x equals 5 halves. Now the difficulty here, for many students, where does 5 halves go on the number line? A lot of students are fine with integers, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc., even -1, -2, -3. But fractions and decimals sometimes just scare students. So we need to convert 5 halves to a mixed number or a decimal. Decimal is probably the easiest. You can even do it with your calculator. 5 divided by 2 is 2.5. If you did the division, you'd get 2 and 1/2. That also works. And so we look on the x-axis. 2.5 is going to be halfway between 2 and 3. 2.5 is 2.5, so we're looking at the halfway point between 2 and 3, so our intercept is going to be right about there. Let's find the y-intercept. To find the y-intercept, we have to let x equal 0. If we do that, we've got 2 times 0 plus y equals 5. I plugged in 0 for x this time. 2 times 0 is just 0, so 0 plus y equals 5, and 0 plus y is the same as y. So we have y equals 5, and that's easier because that's a whole number. So we go on the y-axis and we look for 5, and we plot that point. And then we need to connect the dots with a straight line. It's going to look something like this. And then up in the other direction, something like that. Now we want to find a point to test, and this is why it's even more important that you're using a ruler, because if you're not, you're probably not going to have another point on this line that has integer coordinates where everything lines up perfectly. In this case, I can see the point 2, 1, also the point 1, 3. There's others as well. We've got, let's see, it looks like 4, -3. It's not quite perfect, but that's because I didn't use a ruler. If you're using a ruler and you're doing everything carefully and precisely, it'll be much more easier to find a point to test. I'm going to pick 1, 3, just because that's the one that seems to line up the best. So let's check that 1, 3 satisfies this equation. We have 2 times x, which is 1, plus y, which is 3, and we want it to equal 5. 2 times 1 is 2. So we have 2 plus 3 equals 5, which we know is a true fact. So that tells us that that is a point on the line, and so we've probably done it correctly.